And hello to all my friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent. Today I'll be doing your mid-month update here for all the signs. I have all my great friends in one place for this video. I love to do the mid-month for that reason. All in one group, guys. It's going to be a very fast lightning style, fast-paced reading. We're going to be blitzing through all the signs here very quickly. I'm using every single tarot card and oracle card deck that I have, and they're all pre-shuffled, ready to go, guys. So we're going to get started right now. We'll waste no time. Starting off with Taurus, guys. Taurus is getting cracking it off start fresh here, so we got to ritual cut it real quick. Put them into thirds, back together in a separate order they go, and the decks are prepared and ready. So here we go with Taurus, middle of November. Can't believe this November is going by so quick. Here we go. Okay, so short and sweet here for my Tauruses, right here, middle of the month. Just a little stuff coming up, a little minor stuff. It's almost my most simplest energy card in the deck. It's a pip card, which means it's basic, super basic, so nothing extreme here for Tauruses. Checking in just fine. Actually, here middle of the month is just little stick fights, is what Spirit calls it. You know, if you're Taurus that is going through a more major of a deal here, Spirit is reminding you that it is not as big of a deal as you may think that it is. That's what it reminds us. The next card here is actually what a lot of Tauruses are doing, which is a big purchase. There's big purchases, big money being moved here for a lot of my Tauruses. Of course, not for everybody in a general reading, but this is usually big money being moved towards something pleasurable, like a new car, like something new that you can have fun with here. Maybe a new furniture set. Maybe some people have fun watching movies in their living room, and that's like a big driver for them. So it's big money being spent for a lot of my Tauruses. I don't want you to go and spend money just because I said this, but if you've been waiting to buy something here, middle of November is coming up for Tauruses. Hey, you're getting the green light, 2 thumbs up here from Spirit to go ahead and move forward with that. There we go for Taurus. Next up is Libra time. Here we go with Libra, middle of November. Okay, bigger theme for Libra. Libra, we start with nostalgia. A lot of my Libras are, going back to their childhood here, right here in the middle of November, whether this is, something that reminds you like a memory, bringing you back, going to do something that you really enjoyed as a child. This can also be about children. So a lot of my Libras are just focused on their children here in the middle of November, or it's a big driver for a lot of my great Libras here. The next thing they show here is the King of Swords inverted. They told me not a person here, so we're using the energetic definition, which is basically that a lot of my Libras really need to start getting authoritative with their mind here, making decisions for themselves, figuring things out. It doesn't mean you actually have to do these things, but you really got to start thinking about some certain things. That's what they brought up for a lot of my Libras. They want you to think about leaving something behind here. This is very full moon energy. Maybe a opportunity to take care of that here coming up, especially early in December when we have that full moon again, or it's just leaving something else in the past. And this has an emotional attachment to a lot of my Libras, so this is something that is hard to purge, perhaps. A heartstring is definitely corded through here, but they're bringing up leaving something behind and not looking back. So please take that into consideration for the context. Of course, it's going to be different meanings for different Libras, but hopefully I've given you enough to work with there that you know what they're referring to you. So really get this decision making up, get your mind made up, talking about the kids and leaving something behind, checking in. Very good for my Libras. Next up, guys, is Aquarius. Aquarius is next, the last sign for this deck. Aquarius, here we go. Big theme, of course. And, I'm actually going to need a discard. Well, hold on. Yes, we are going to need a discard to see if they want to upright the whole set. The Aquarius is my first sign checking in here. That is a major theme. And they actually want it read a little bit blocked. So let's see why that is. We start Aquarius here with the World card inverted, which for me can be about worldly things like travel and being abroad, different countries and stuff like that. But for most people, this is usually more incomplete. If I wrap the card up into one word, it is incomplete. So something needs to be wrapped up here. Something needs to be completed. Okay, so whether this is a project or something you got going on with work or a financial project, health kick, diet kick, this is something that needs some work here, and they bring in patience next. So that just lets us know that there is an impatience going on here for a lot of my Aquariuses. A lot of you are kind of uncomfortable with something and you feel like something's either off or you just don't really like doing this change, and that is why it's still incomplete. That's why it hasn't been wrapped up. So it says here in the card specifically that your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize, but still, you need to water the plants. They still need nurturing. They still need you to be patient as this growth occurs. funny they talked about growth in that way, because right underneath that I have my card of growth. And this is usually slow growth, so this can be talking about financials here with the Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. So this could be slow money being moved, slow growth. It's working itself out, but maybe not as fast as you would like it to do. The next thing we show here, the wrapping up, is the Moon card inverted, and thank goodness this card is inverted, because this is not like your friendly moon card. This is, not like a moon cycle, the full moon, new moon. No, the moon card in tarot is like very weird. Mysterious energy, kind of a little funky and bizarre. And when it's inverted here, thankfully, they show that my Aquarius are coming out of that moon energy. So it's much better to be coming out of it than going into it. So a lot of the kind of weird, mysterious phase that some of my Aquariuses are going through or have been going through either November or before in October and so forth, it's starting to get resolved here. Things are starting to get more clear. The sun is shining through. You're seeing things more clearly instead of, in the sunlight versus the moonlight. So good way to wrap up there for Aquarius. Next sign up, guys, is going to be Virgo. In Virgo, we are doing a deck change. So I need to ritual cut that deck. This deck is expired. Get rid of it and bring in Virgo right here. Virgo got a ritual cut the deck, and then it's ready for my great Virgos. Here we go. Virgo middle of the month. Big theme for my Virgos. Great big theme. Not a person there. Need a angel card too. That's how big we're going, Virgo. Virgo's going big. All right, Virgo. So we bring in the Tower card, which can be a card about a breakup or a shakeup of energy here. So energy is moving very quickly, and things are going to change for a lot of my Virgos here in the middle of November very fast. It doesn't really tell me if this is a good change or a bad change. It's just a change, and Spirit perhaps maybe leaving this vague intentionally, or maybe they don't want to, us Virgos, I'm a Virgo too. Sometimes us Virgos like to analyze things to death, a little bit of paralysis by analysis, and they maybe don't want you to do that. So we're just going to kind of leave it open here. Just expect some shakeups to happen here in the middle of November. They did give us a little bit of context here. They tell us to breathe, first of all, so it's letting me know some of you are, like really stressed out about something. If you are, don't be, or try not to be. Just breathe. Things are starting to resolve here. It says in the card to take several deep breaths, exhale slowly, awaken your energy, and release old patterns. I focus a lot there on old patterns. A lot of my Virgos here are purging some stuff that is corded through and attached from the past, and that's good to see. So and sometimes that shakeup or that mix up there is not comfortable, and some of us handle change better than others, but when this is coming in here, they're letting you know that you're releasing some patterns here, and it's actually okay. And you can just relax and breathe. They do bring in the Prince of Pentacles, so we have an inaction with money coming up. That is usually what is going on. They're talking about it here, so if that's already you're fine. That's okay. It's not a good money time right here in the middle of November. Kind of more like hang on to it right now. Don't spend money on big things. Maybe for later, maybe for December, Christmas, etc. So we have inaction there. Whether it's talking about what is going on or it's the advice, we have inaction with money. So keep that in mind. Big things being spent for Virgos. Save it for later, please. The next thing they show is learning from your lessons. A lot of you here are moving forward or trying to move forward and struggling here a little bit with the lessons you've learned. It's coming up again in the middle of November, so this is a chance for you guys to do very well with this and to move forward and to finally overcome this, because they're telling me you Virgos already have done the work. You already have all the knowledge, all the information, and now you just have to apply it. It has to be applied knowledge. So there we go with Virgo. Very good. Next up, guys, is Cancer. Cancer coming in hot, going on this deck right here. Here we go, Cancer, middle of November, guys. Okay, Cancer, this is going to be a more specific message, first of all. So this may not be for everybody. Keep in mind that if this is not about you, that's okay. That means basically that you are good. Spirit is basically using this opportunity to talk about the Cancers that need this information, this message right here, right now. We bring in first the card of physical injury. So even if this is not about you, if you're just healthy as a dog, as a cat, here you're good to go. This can be injury prone too. So just keep an eye, just try to be careful. I always tell people, don't go jogging, when it's dark. Be careful, watch your step, walking downstairs, you might slip and fall. Little silly stuff can actually, hurt you quite a bit. So just be careful, injury-prone stuff. You know, when this happens, when this comes up for me, I end up stubbing my toe and, you know, hitting my head on things. I'm very tall and, you know, stuff, little stupid stuff like that. So injury-prone comes up, or physical injury for a lot of my Cancer. So just try to avoid that as best you can. And if that's already you, here's the next part of your message. They bring in the Seven of Swords. So this is the card about theft or loss or deceit. I think it's kind of like a split group where they're talking here that, you know, this is just a preventative. There are some Cancers that are coming up where there's deceitful people in their bubble. Okay, they want your eyes open to this. They don't want you being surprised by this. This is also a good time here in the middle of November to lock your car, lock your house, not leave valuables out in the open, because what if you just lose something? You can also be forgetful when this card comes up. If you lose, like, say, a purse, or, you know, you let's say you go to the grocery store and you've got a bunch of bags, you're putting them in your cart, and you forget a bag. Okay, and that was like the important bag. You know, you needed that bag. It was for Thanksgiving. You know, very important ingredients there and stuff. And, you know, you just walked off without it. Well, nobody actually stole it from you, but you don't have it. So the end result is the same. So keep that in mind. A little bit of theft and loss opportunities that they're trying to get you to avoid. So all in all, good stuff here, guys. They're just doing a preventative thing here for my Cancers here in the middle of November. So there's nothing else that is extremely prominent that you need to be aware of at this moment. We'll check more into that into December, but right now we move on to Sagittarius, guys. Sagittarius coming in hot, middle of November. My Sagittariuses were so simple with me today. Thank you so much for that. Nice, easy, clean read. We have, first of all, that Sagittarius, some of you are going through some things, okay? We have some conflicts coming up in the middle of November. If that's not you, again, this is a general reading, and that's great. This is just for my Sagittariuses mostly who are going through some things, and a lot of this, they're telling me, is financial. Some of you are waiting for some new money to come in, or maybe waiting to earn more money, maybe pick up a PT job for Christmas or the holidays or something like that. So this is a phase where they're trying to get you here to find peace within the storm here. Find the calm in the storm. And sometimes that's hard to do. Sometimes it's difficult to do. But you're going through a phase. You're going through the storm, quote unquote. And, you know, it's just got to ride out. It's got to do its thing. It's not going to be here forever. It's not going to last forever. My Sagittariuses are going to bounce back and be just fine, because remember, life is like a roller coaster. Anytime you're too far down, you are going to come back up. And vice versa. Anytime you're too far up, you're going to come back down. So that's why you want to enjoy those highs. And don't fret about the lows, because it's going to bounce right back. So this is just a challenging phase. It's my War and Chaos card. And like I said, the key here is to kind of keep your head in the game, keep your head straight, and just find ways to relax. And sometimes this is mental tricks too. You know, little things like that can really move this in a positive direction. And waiting for that financial corner to kick, waiting for that new money to come in, or whatever something new physical is here in my Ace of Pentacles, which can be anything from like a new house, getting keys to a new house, anything new to the touch that you're waiting to get isn't here yet, or it's on a delay, or maybe just not right now. So there we go for Sagittarius. Next we move on to Gemini, guys. Gemini coming in hot. This deck is actually expired, so we're going to get rid of it real quick. Go over here. Gemini gets my traditional deck, the Rider Waite. Got a Ritual Cut It. Oh, we also got to change Oracle decks too, so this one's also expired. Get rid of that one and move this one into the game. Here we go with Gemini. Ritual Cutting It, thirds, and back together they go. We're ready to go here for Gemini. All right, Gemini, here's what we have for your middle of November. Big deal, big theme. Need an Oracle card. Haven't had a whole lot of these for these signs yet, but we're here in the middle of your reading, and now we're starting to get them popping, get them flowing through. So Gemini here, middle of the month, they talk about something brand new that is like a death. It's my death card, so it's basically like there can be no energetic carryover from the past. This is something brand new, completely new, where like there is no carryover. This is something like, you know, let's say you just quit a bad habit. Well, you can't go back and do this once in a while. Let's say it was drinking, okay? You can't go back and have a beer on Thanksgiving. You can't just, you know, once in a while have a drink socially. No, this is saying here it's got to be all. Okay, so something for my Geminis is all right here. That's kind of the word if we're focusing on that. This has got to be the whole thing. You can't just do part. You can't do half measures. You got to go the whole way with this. Now that, of course, is broad. They didn't wrap that down too tightly as far as what that could be. So for different Geminis, more than likely, it's going to be different things. Next up, we show getting very interested in something. A lot of my Geminis here are getting a heart attachment here to something that they care very much about. It did not tell me a person. It doesn't mean it's not, but this could be a passion toward a hobby, toward a new interest, or, hey, just getting excited about doing something different with your health, doing something different with work, maybe a new project that's coming up with different ideas for different revenue streams, something like that. They want you to do where you find happiness in. It's my card of happy. So here they're basically saying, a lot of my Geminis need more happiness in their life. They need to make this change to get to a place where it's just, balloons, rainbows, unicorns, and bubblegum. It's just all the great, sweet things in life. And they're trying to get you there, Gemini, is really what they're trying to do. They're also saying that a lot of you are moving forward with the lessons you've learned. That's very good. It's saying here that you don't actually need to learn anything more with this. Like you have all the tools. You're ready to go. You're even moving in the direction forward with it. Now, these lessons can be felt like burdens on our shoulders sometimes because, sometimes the lessons are difficult to learn, but you've already done the work here. So the hard work, the hard lifting is already done. You guys are moving forward in a good direction here. I go back to the main card that this needs to be all, okay? Just keep that in mind, Gemini. No half measures. It has to be all the way, 110%. Okay, so there we go for Gemini. Next up is Leo, guys. Leo. My great Leos who led the competition. That is not a real competition, but for my readings for November 1st, my Leos, I think, blew everybody away. So good job, Leo. You guys are awesome. And we got a big theme for Leo. All right, Leo. So middle of November starts with the family joy is a little bit segmented here, a little bit, I don't want to say shattered, but a little bit on a delay, or maybe, there's something coming up that's very important that hasn't happened now, maybe a trip, a gathering, a family vacation, something like that. It is the second best card in the tarot deck. It is my 10 of Cups, I call it my Disneyland energy. It's just like so much fun, but it's coming in on a block. So it's on a delay, or it hasn't happened yet, but it's peeping its head in is what it's doing. So it's kind of like lurking around that corner saying, hey, when's this going to pop in? Maybe December, maybe later in the month, but it's presenting itself. The next thing they show here is the Lover's card. So this is a card for my relationship people that are bound up in love with a relationship partner here, that this is a big driver here for the middle of the month. It's very important for you guys to do things together. And for my singles that are looking for love, this can also be a good attracting time for that. Good magnetism is involved here with two people or two entities coming together. This can also be like two entities in anything. This can be like, two work places coming together, maybe merging, you doing two things with work. So it's two entities. I don't want to tie down two people, but it's two things, two entities working together very nicely in a symbiotic relationship here. So whether it's people or whether it's different things, for different Leos, that's what comes up. And they want you to go after something here. This is my only kind of clue that some of you, this is about work, okay? Because we have wands, and wands are usually the work corner, work, business, enterprise, area of study, collegiate courses, retirement if you're of that age, entrepreneurship, learning new things. All that stuff can apply here, and they want you to really chase something here. Really go after it. A lot of you, they say, have been sitting back, waiting in the wings, waiting for something to play out in front of you, and now is the time, Leo, to chase. Okay, they want you to go after it right here in the middle of November. Next up, guys, is Scorpio. We move into Scorpio, which is the last one on this deck. So here we go with Scorpio. And we got a big theme for my Scorpios, actually completely blocked. Let's see if they want it read that way or if we're going to change that up. Do a discard right there, and they do want it all upright. So we need to keep the order the same and do that. So here we go. I'm looking at it clearly, Scorpio now. So the first thing they bring it up is something legal. A lot of my Scorpios are going through something legal here in the middle of November, or it's on its way very, very, very soon. Okay, and this is usually something that works out very well for you legally. Otherwise this card would have stayed inverted. They would have said, hey, this is something legal that does not work out so well for you here. Now, other things with legal that can come up here, agreements, anything you put your signature on, could be a contract, anywhere along the lines. It is a big kind of group, big umbrella that a lot of things can fall under. And in a general reading, I pretty much have to leave it right there. The next thing they show here is the Devil card. So two people or two something being bonded together here very, very closely. Now that can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing depending on what it is. For example, if this is a toxic person that you're bound to, that would be a bad thing, okay, obviously. If this is something like, a new job opportunity that you just got this brand new job. Well, now you're bound and you're handcuffed to this new job. Well, that's a great thing. You know what I mean? So it can really go different ways. The Devil card can also be about habits and, the devil kind of having a hold on you, sometimes in some negative ways here. So if that is the case, just take into consideration that it's presenting itself. So they just want awareness brought to it if it's that. But it's, like I said, other definitions too. That's why I give it to you all in a general. The final thing we show here is blowing your horn here, making a decision. A lot of my Scorpios are making important, major decisions here in the middle of November that are going to impact the future in quite a big way. They want you to be flexible here, so don't be too rigid. Go with the flow a little bit here, a little hippie energy, and don't get too stuck up in results. Don't get too rigid with timing. Sometimes timing needs to be a little fluid here, so you just need to bend and not break for my Scorpios middle of the month. Very good. We move into Aries and we need a deck change. This deck is expired, so we will get rid of it, make some room like that, and here we go. Ritual cut time coming in here for Aries, and this deck will be ready. So here we go with Aries, middle of November. All right, short and sweet. A lot of my Aries are getting over something that was some wrongdoing that comes up. It may be deceived from people, or just getting over something that you had lost in some different way, or something that was taken from you. For example, like let's say your workplace accidentally didn't pay you for 10 hours and now they're making up for it. Now this check, you get those 10 hours back, something like that. So that's just a silly example, but you get the energy. Something was taken from you, now it's being placed back to you, or something like that. Also, be careful of not giving away too much here too. Be careful with what you give when you give freely, because this can be a card about also, got to give you different definitions in a general that you can actually be letting people steal it from you, like you're giving way too freely. So just be a little cautious of that. That can be a good thing, but it can also be bad if it's if you're giving to the wrong places, or if you're giving to something that's fraudulent or a scam, stuff like that. So just keep your eye out for that. The next thing they show here is a lot of my Aries are kind of bored. There's a level of discontent with some area in a lot of my Aries lives. They want you to start finding something to get interested in here. They're basically saying, okay, like let's say for example, your diet. You're bored with your diet. You need to eat a little bit better, but you know what? I don't want to give up my ice cream. I don't want to give up, my sweets or whatever it is for you, my carbs. Start thinking of different ways you can do this here. There's so many different ways to do everything. Of course, I'm just giving you one example, and this could be, the context is wide open for this here. So they want you to find something to get interested in here in a way that you will follow through with what you do. So find something to get interested in here and get rid of that boredom here in the middle of November. Is such a great time for my Aries to do such things. Next up, guys, is Pisces. Pisces coming in hot middle of November. There it goes. Short and sweet for my Pisces. Pisces, we bring up first growth in my Seven of Pentacles. This is slow growth, perhaps slow money. The financial sector corner is moving in a good direction, just maybe slower than you prefer. Things are just going slow. So just remember that sometimes growth takes time. Don't necessarily try to rush things. Don't hold yourself to too tight of a time frame. Definitely don't beat yourself up over goals that aren't attained yet, especially big ones. I always tell people here, try to set smaller goals. That way you can create more momentum. The next thing they show here for my Pisces is social. So this can be about parties, gatherings, getting together with people, good social vibe and interaction. Very important for my Pisces middle of November. Please do that. Also, good time to reach out to old friends that you haven't seen or talked to in a while. Good social camaraderie time here for my Pisces. So all things checking in good. Couple things they want to bring attention to there for my Pisces. Next up and finally will be Capricorn. Ending with my great Capricorns here. Middle of November presents short and sweet. Again, got to do a discard though because we're blocked. And they want it unblocked. So we're going to look at this nice and clearly here for my Capricorns to wrap up what has been a very good reading for a lot of the different signs. Very good all around. So we start Capricorn with the nurturing of your mind. A lot of you are either dealing with some stressors, some anxiety, some things that, you just need to calm down a little bit here. You need to take a breath, you need to zoom out, take a pause, take a break, take a day to yourself maybe, and just, hey, this is just going to be my day. I'm going to take a break from the kids. I'm going to, go pamper myself this weekend. I'm going to go do something special. I'm going to go watch a movie in my pajamas and do nothing else. Whatever this is for you, that's what comes up first for Capricorn. So make sure that you're really nurturing your mental health here. Mental health is a big driver. The next thing is more heart driven here. This is more of an emotional tie, and this is leaving something behind and not looking back. This could be a person, but this could be a bunch of other things too. Anything that has an attachment to your heart can come in here. So this can be family related, friend related. And this can also be just, something that is just really hard for you to kick here and to let go of. Anything from a bad habit to a person and, so much more. So there's something here that they're calling for you to let go of and not look back. And they're showing here that you have a big resistance to do that. So my Capricorns, they want to bring up that, you really need to start paying attention to this. You need to start figuring out, not necessarily doing it. You don't have to necessarily do this in November, but you got to start figuring it out, because this is something that will affect you later if you don't. So you need to start kind of getting your ducks in a row here and figuring out where they're trying to go as far as what you need to cut out of your life here, and just maybe start making a plan. Maybe a plan isn't in order first. Step 1A comes before step 5, 6, 7. So what my Capricorns are doing here is really kind of putting on your thinking cap here in the middle of November, at least hopefully, and trying to figure this stuff out. First of all, being very kind to your mental health and doing what is important to keep that mental health. Of course, that comes first. Then after that, we can talk about leaving what they want you to leave behind here. Great opportunities to start formulating a plan. Formulating a plot here for my Capricorns to move forward in such a great direction. That spirit is pushing this for your middle of November. That is the entire reading, guys. It has been a good one for pretty much all the signs. Good news all the way around, which I love to be able to give to you. And just a couple things in here to implement positive change, and that is what it's all about. At the end of the day, I hope everybody is doing great. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll see you very soon in a couple weeks. Take care.